Hey, Mr. Tretter. All right. Now we have your flats flat. As you can see here, this is real pretty and flat. The scales are going to sit real even on both sides. You can see here a little place like this. This is just barely. I mean, it's just barely below the surface here. So we'll clean most of that up when we start to do our hand sanding. But for the most part, both of them are good and flat, directly in the areas where you want it, coming up from your ricasso. Now you can see here the part that didn't get grinded. That's where my power hammer widened this piece of metal. You can see a little bit here, and of course a little bit right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start to grind this blade out. Now the progression that I take on doing that is a 36 grit belt, a 60 grit, a 120 grit. After 120 grit, I start to hand sand. So we're going to start our plunge line back here and follow it up on both sides. And of course, after we get that pretty much all done, we got to go back and make sure that we clean up all these little stray grind marks on the blade to make sure when we quench it, we have no kind of stress risers that can cause it to crack. So here she is, step by step, process by process. She is going from being a piece of metal to a pretty blade. So now the first thing that I should mention this, something that I like to do that saves me a little bit of money on belts, is I go ahead and knock the shoulder off of this edge, because what happens is this edge actually knocks grit off of your belt. So I'm going to go ahead and knock the edge off that. I'll show you how I do it right quick. It doesn't take but just a little bit. I use a wore out belt to do it also, so it doesn't mess up one of my newer ones. But this is how we do that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but we just knocked the shoulders off of the edge here, and that'll prevent it from eating all the grit off my belt. So here's the next step. What I'll do is I made this myself, and it's a little table that fits down like that. I'll take and pipe it up, and what I do, I find that works good for me, is I'll rest the spine of the blade down here and use this old piece of wood that come off of a hammer as a push stick and pull it across, and I'll do that on both sides until I get the grinds even where I want them, and that's kind of how I do it. So What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and grind this blade out. It takes a little bit of time to do it. I don't get in a hurry when I'm doing it. When you get in a hurry, usually you'll mess something up or you'll go too high, and you don't want your grind line to break this barrier from the spine. You want it to come up and curl over. If it comes up too far, you break that barrier, and it doesn't look, to me personally, it doesn't look very good. So that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to go ahead and we're going to start to grind. After I get this grinded out, we'll start up another video and we'll see if we can't get this thing finished up for you. Again, thank you. Another video will be coming up soon.